Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shop Talk. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here is the main co-host of them all. She's the best in the world. She is the awesome princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
Hey, I'm doing great, Andre, but I thought CM Punk was the best in the world.
To some people.
Those people are not us.
Nope.
It's been a weird week here, hasn't it? With the little snowstorm that we found ourselves in. I've been getting most of my arm days from shoveling.
Okay, so the last 2 days, I have just shoveled at work. I've shoveled at home. Then I spent today shoveling at work, and thank God I didn't have to shovel at home today because I did all my shoveling last night. So yeah. Oh my God, like just there was 15-ish centimeters of snow I think dropped, and it was on. And yesterday at work was clearing all the edges of the spots so that our plows could come in and plow it all out. And today was clearing off the top of all the lumber lifts that we have in our lumber yard.
What is
Oh,
more Canadian? What is
oh.
more Canadian than clearing the snow for the plows that clear the snow?
Well,
What
again, we don't want the plows. We don't want that plows hitting our lumber, so we have to move it a few feet away from the lumber. We have to clear that area so the plow can come in and plow it out down the center of the lanes. So
Andre, Andre, Andre. It's Mr. Plow. What's his
that's
name?
my
That
name.
name again is
Is
Mr. Plow.
Mr. Plow. Even though Plow King was way better.
It's been a weird week. It's been a weird week because we know how much Melball hates being a responsible adult and having to shovel the driveway, but she's had something keeping her in a good mood. So
Yep.
can't complain about that. How are you doing besides your shoveling snow,
Oh,
Andre?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a pretty good week. I've been just been streaming and podcasting all week. So like
Yes.
I did stuff with you. I did Sunday with the boys, and
Mhm.
then Monday I had off because you were streaming. And
Mhm.
then Tuesday I was with Astra doing up next or not taking over. That's up next is the podcast too. Taking over, talking NXT with her. Taking
Mhm.
I was
You got to
taking
see
over from Ed.
Eddie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I wish it was Carl.
rude.
I wish it was Carl Fredericks, but
We've had this conversation before, and that's valid. That's valid. That's fair. I will accept that because we still get to see the man, the myth, the legend.
say his name and he appears.
Why you flashing your dick hole?
No, it's Dick. It's my Dick Togo.
He's a dick hole as well. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah,
It's gonna
but
be a
yeah, and then
wild show because I'm in a really good mood right now. And we
and then
have to talk about some good shit and some not good shit that's fired me up and had me fired up for nearly a week, man. Yeah, you
yeah,
should be like squirming.
yeah.
Arrgh.
So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. Let's ramble and rage and rock out and all that fun stuff. We're here
Mhm.
to talk RCW. Was it seasons
See,
beatings? I couldn't. For some reason, I wanted to say Christmas chaos, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think this is what it was.
I think that was the Calgary event. Was the Christmas chaos one the day before? Yeah, this is seasons beatings
Mhm.
with the RCW Edmonton debut of the Prospector Wes Barker,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
which in the
Yes.
first match was for the RCW North American Championship. It is our favorite. He is the Ultra Violent. Ooh,
God, this is so
yeah.
awkward now.
The Ultra Violent champion because he's how do we say this? He's uh uh ultra violent tips, he's breaking hips, and he's holding all the championships. We have Mitch Clarke taking on the Prospector Wes Barker in what was a great match. I had so much fun with this.
Mhm.
Barker cutting a promo before the match. He actually called me and Melball out.
Which I take issue with because mofo. Guess who the lone person sitting here
I was
was? And you
it was,
called
it was
me out
us.
on it.
It was us,
I
and
was being quiet. At that point, I started calling for Mitchell. I was like, Mitchell, come deal with this.
And then Mitch comes out. We're cheering for him. Wes comes out of the ring yelling at us for cheering for Mitch. And
It's
he's
the
like,
love of my
"What?"
life.
And he's yelling, "Why do you like his entrance?" And he's getting mad at when Mitch ripped the pants off, our entire group just cheered. And he's like, "Well, why do you like that?" And he was getting all pissed at us for liking the pant rip. It was great. I think for you and me, it goes to Tai Chi. It's the Tai Chi factor of it all, and that's
It really is. But it's also Mitchell. It's Mitch
yeah,
Clarke.
yeah, it's Mitch
Love
Clarke.
of my life.
Uh,
Figure your shit out. There we go.
I don't know.
Why do I not do that? I feel like I'm making these terrible little claw things. It's because I can go from this to this.
Yeah, you got all those claw things going on. This match was awesome. It was a beautiful Doctor Bomb by Mitch for two. That gut wrench power bomb there. Barker catches Mitch in the corner, hangs him up in the rope, and hits this huge hard lariat to the back of the neck. Just it looks so good. Wes tries to do the tightrope walk while holding the hand, but Mitch just yanks him down and just starts just throwing the punches in the corner. Love that. Wes gets a big slam, starts chanting ultra violent on his own, and just hits the Hogan style leg drop for 2. Wes cuts off an attack by Mitch with a knee to the midsection, hits a big old suplex for 2. Mitch fights back, hits a knee in the corner, hops over, has Mitch coming at him, hits a knee, hops over Wes, hits the belly-to-belly suplex for 2. Wes fights back. He goes for a tiger bomb, but Mitch fights it off and gets him up, hits the Ludwig van Driver for the win.
Spindly. We called it twice because he got him up twice.
You did.
The second time, he actually got it.
Yep.
I was happy with that. I have 3 notes for this that I managed to write down because I actually managed to take notes. Aren't you proud of me? Yes. Where's my gold stars? They're in my purse. Damn it. Oh well. Anyway, Fisherman hook suplex, was that the suplex you were mentioning? Big old suplex by Mitch?
No, I was talking about the big old straight up suplex by Wes Barker at one point, yeah.
Yeah, the muscle up suplex is the second note that I have by Wes, which I assume was the big old suplex that you meant. No? Well, there was a fisherman hook suplex by Mitch at the beginning that I always like. Yeah. I'm starting to really enjoy suplexes, especially now that I'm starting to learn the difference between all of them. Setups and hookups. Thank you, Andre. There was also a twisting neck breaker that Mitch did that I wrote down. That was really, really cool. Yeah, some people might disagree with me, but like I need these high energy matches to start off shows for me because sometimes looking at the cards, knowing full fucking well that they're not going to be the card that happens, I get scared because then I get an inkling for who's going to be on the show and I get scared for what's going to change, what's going to get moved around, what's going to get altered, and blah, 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 blah. But like lately, if Mitch is there, he's in the opening match and whoever he's fighting is very, very good. And what I enjoyed about the last couple matches, and this match in particular that has really kind of been like on a different kind of thing, because I don't know if you've noticed, Mitch has been kind of acting a little different the last couple shows, especially since we saw the kind of like, I don't know, is that like a lukewarm reunion of the Radz, all of them kind of bouncing around there? I feel like we're starting to notice a personality change in Mitch. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit more, like he breaks character a little bit more. Like before he was very how his picture is. He goes in there, he does his thing, he goes. Now we're starting to see like more smiles when people start chanting things. We're seeing him interact with the crowd a lot more, blowing kisses at his haters, coming over to us. We're seeing a bit of an evolution of the Mitch Clarke character, which I'm actually really excited about and looking forward to seeing what kind of goes on with that. But then he's been putting on these banger opens with people who are just as good and charismatic in the ring, like Wes Barker, like Crude Oil Cody Mack, who are just, they're setting up the show with such a phenomenal match. And like I've mentioned before, I really like, pointed over here. Who the fuck's over here? I've mentioned before, I like Wes Barker's in-ring style. He's very charismatic. He kind of has that like effortless charisma that someone like Sonata could benefit from. And that he just knows how to beak to people like me to piss us off and get us kind of doing what it is that he expects of us in that match, which is booing the fuck out of him, which we did. I had a lot of fun with this. This is a great. I would actually say one of the matches I loved the absolute most on this show.
Yeah, this is one of the top matches of this show for sure.
100%.
So we moved on to a very quick match in Kato
Disappointingly
versus
so.
Kato versus JJ Spade. JJ with why did I write huge tiger splashes in the corner?
The giant tiger head.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gets a Northern Lights for 2. He gets a Michinoku driver for 2. JJ goes up, but Dean distracts him. Kato crotches him. Kato hits JJ on the floor with the guitar pinata that he brought out, rolls JJ in, and he gets the win.
He was like Hantai all in one in that match. He was the ace with the guitar. I started calling him El Presidente Tiger at one point. Mm-hmm. just because. This was regrettably short. I didn't like how short it was. Especially given the monstrosity that was too long later in the show. That should have been fucking cut entirely. I would have been happy with that. And this should have went on for at least 5 more minutes. Because like, I don't know, Kato, I know you're coming back brand new here. Well, like you're not new. You've been around a hot minute, but like we haven't seen you in the RCW ring in a hot minute also. You kind of come in once in a while or whatever. Don't know if you missed JJ versus Harlan, but it was fucking incredible. I would have loved to see that with you. Disappoints me. That being said, I like the story that's being started here. I just wish that the match could have been a little bit longer, and that we could have gotten a little bit more of a build for it, because it everything that happened in this match in this moment made sense. It just could have and should have been a little bit more detailed given the storytellers in it. Because we know that Kato is a very accomplished storyteller in that ring. We know that Dean Richtor, especially over the last year, has become so incredibly good at telling stories in that ring, whether it's a long-term story or whether it's just something he pulled out of his ass as he was walking out the curtain. He always puts on good shit. And we know that JJ does too. So it does disappoint me that this felt rushed and unnecessarily so. I feel they could have put a little bit more into this, but otherwise, I was happy with the story expansion on this one. But then one note that I had on here was there was a bridging suplex for 2 by JJ that I really liked. That was really good.
Northern Lights suplex.
Is that what that is called?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was happy that I knew that it was a bridging suplex. Okay.
Yep. Bridging Northern Lights suplex.
Well, I
then
forgot
there's
the
also
Northern Lights. I'm sorry.
There's the bridging fisherman suplex. There's other bridging. There's the bridging dragon suplex.
Well, this is an educational video that you could actually put out later for the people, couldn't it?
Nah, my only student is Melball. that one student is way more than enough.
And she's a struggle and a half to teach, isn't she?
Yep. So we move on. It is the married duo of Bobby Sharp and Kat Von Heez coming together to face off against Bobby's heated rival, the Slammer, and the returning Chris Parrish. Okay, so what it was Parrish comes out for a singles match, and he's going around. He's holding his. Mr. Parrish is not a very tall man, and so he's standing over a very short child and holding his hand up, and the kid can't slap his hand. So then he goes over, and he goes over as he's doing it to one kid, another kid. John, one of the other fans, walks up and he puts who is significantly taller than Parrish, and puts his hand up in the air so Parrish can't reach it, and everybody just laughs at Parrish because it's like,
yes, I'm sorry, Parrish. I relate to that situation, though. I mean, I am that person as well, but I'm sorry. I did laugh at that as well.
Yeah. And then Slammer comes out. It's supposed to be Parrish versus Slammer, but Slammer doesn't want to face Parrish because they're friends, and he calls Parrish a mountain of magnificent muscle. It's not true.
Jesus.
He's in better shape than me. I'll give him that.
100%.
Like, way better shape than me.
Yeah.
But not a mountain of magnificent muscle. That's like Bobby Sharp.
Slammer isn't even that.
Bobby Sharp is the mountain of magnificent muscle if you're talking about this match. Not
if we're talking about builds on this show and like the best build on the show, it's between Bob Sharp and Rich King.
Yeah. And then Kamikaze right up there too with how shredded that.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's the only other RCW guy that can say that's pretty shredded too. So yeah, but so they call out Bobby and Cat. We get in a tag match, and Slammer's trying to get us to cheer for him, but we're chanting "Eat Shit Slammer," and the entire crowd starts chanting "Eat Shit Slammer," and it's just this absolute perfection. God, it was so good. It was just my favorite part of this. One of my favorite parts of the night.
One complaint before we get into the whole thing. So, just for reference, this match card, this thing was posted on RCW social media the week of the show. And then they ended up. I liked what they did in the ring, where they played we're going to be in a singles match, but we like each other. We'd rather just beat the crap out of a happy family. And that's totally cool. I liked it because we got a lot of what I have been begging for on this show, which is promos. And we're not getting them backstage because they don't have the production for it. And apparently the guys don't want to do it themselves. But like, this was good. This was a great promo. We got the promo from Wes in the beginning. We got the promo from these two. We got another one later on. It was great. It's just maybe we shouldn't have announced the match card if that's what we were going to do. Maybe just as a reference for the future, if this is what they're going to do and they're planning on doing this story, do the singular announcement of the person returning and then do a second post, because you can never advertise too much for your own company. Do another advertisement. Which way am I pointing? Fuck. With the rest of these people, and be like, hey, guess what? The show will also feature. It'll prevent stuff like this from happening and us sitting there going, yeah, we know. You announced this already.
Yep.
It's just for future reference. That would be my only complaint about this situation. Let's get into it.
So I didn't take a lot of notes till later in the match, but there's a spot right early when Parrish gets in with Bobby at the start of the match, and Bobby sees the shirt that Chris Parrish was wearing. It's a Cat Von Heez shirt, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he's like, you stole that. And Parrish is like, what? And he's like, because come on, Bobby and Cat aren't going to sell Chris Parrish's shirt. Come on. And you know Chris Parrish ain't buying a shirt.
Money is money, man.
And you know Chris Parrish ain't buying a shirt because she's a little too dastardly to buy shirts.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's what happens when you're friends with people like Slammer.
So this is when he starts beating up Parrish. Parrish like hops over Bobby, and he's so proud of doing the leapfrog over Bobby Sharp. Starts posing, And then as he turns around, gets hit with the Michinoku driver for 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. That was great. I would say that, like, Parrish is a very good showman in the ring. He takes moves really good. He flops really good. He's a really good character to kind of do some of that stuff with. I love that you guys were booing him the whole time.
Mm.
From the moment he came out, you were just, bah! And I'm just sitting there like, this is why people yell at me and not anybody else. This guy's the one booing you. I'm cheering you. Get in his face. Bother him, please.
If you're mad at me booing you, don't be a bad guy, or don't suck, or don't face people I like, and you'll
Don't suck.
don't suck, and I'll cheer for you. But just don't suck, and maybe I'll cheer for you. That's
Oh my
specifically
God.
going out.
That's
That's specifically
tremendous.
going out to like 3 or 4 people. Don't suck. I'm just gonna pretty much run down the end part of this match. So, Kat gets pulled off the ring apron at one point by Parrish to stop a hot tag. Bobby's fighting back. He's fighting off Parrish, and Slammer does finally get the hot tag to Kat, who runs over Parrish, hits him up with a power bomb. Slammer breaks the pin. Kat just starts smacking the crap out of Slammer, and hits a Samoan drop to him. Kat and Bobby then hit a heart attack on Parrish, but Parrish kicks out at like 2.9, and I'm just like, what? It's the heart attack in Alberta. You can't kick out of that. Kat applies her sharpshooter and bridges back into the sharpshooter Moodalock combo. But Slammer attacks her, hits a lariat. Bobby takes out Slammer. They start brawling on the floor. Kat hits the Angel's Wings on Parrish for the visual cover for like 6, I think. But Ben was on the floor dealing with Parrish, Bobby and Slammer who are fighting. Ben slides back in, but Parrish rolls Kat up, puts his feet on the ropes, gets the dirty, undeserving win. And yeah. And then Ben actually ends up stopping Kat from beating up Parrish on the floor after the match.
I mean, he ran, and like rightfully so. You just pissed off the wrong lady. Yeah, this is a really solid match. I didn't take too many notes. I just actually sat and enjoyed this match. Yeah, I don't have too much to add to this. A good return for Parrish. Eat shit Slammer. We love Bob and Kat.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the gist of it.
It has been announced for January 11th at the Hungarian Hall in Edmonton, Alberta, Mel's favorite venue in Edmonton. We are getting a straight-up singles match between Chris Parrish and Kathleen Heez, so she can finally smack the crap out of that little jerk.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, frick. If you go to the show, don't go to the bathroom. Go before you go, because you will die on your way to the basement trying to go to the bathrooms, let me tell you.
That is maybe true.
I fell up those stairs 3 separate times. I fell down them once.
Yeah,
I was only in the venue for an hour.
I also think you're clumsy, though, so that also plays a part in it.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. But my balance training has been going splendidly well.
So I'm going to play y'all a video now. It's about 1.5 minutes, and we're going to watch this because it's a great promo, and I very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
I gotta load the video up because I'm bad at my job.
No, just stall them.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. So, yeah, he does. As some of you may know, it was supposed to be myself versus Mr. Raj Singh and the last man standing. Now, with that being said, Raj pulled out of the show something his dad has never done. Shut your mouth. You see how you're front row and I'm in this ring? You're here for me. You shut your mouth while I'm talking. Nice! There's only 1 row on that wall. You tell him. Now with that being said, the future of professional wrestling, I have no match tonight. So, anyone who thinks that they have the balls to keep up with me in this ring, be my guest. and come step up.
I think great promo from one of the best in Alberta independent wrestling and Son of Irish. I think just absolutely phenomenal. So we then get Moondog Manson along with his valet Dolly making their way out to challenge Mr. Irish, and we got a match.
Will you say it like that? We got a match.
So again, it did not bad. It wasn't a bad match. Just
No.
like Moondog's overpowering Soyboy early, he's splashing him in the corners, he's throwing headbutts. This match was 99.9% Moondog.
It was, yeah.
And
Dolly. Let's be honest, but when they got on the outside, Dolly was whipping him with that little whip thing that she brings to the ringside.
Yeah, so after a few minutes, they end up out on the floor. He's beating him on the floor. Dolly's whipping him with her cat and nine tails thing that she has. Moondog slams Sober's face off of the steps. He's beating him up more on the floor. He ends up bringing a chair into the ring. And he goes to swing the chair at Son of Irish. Irish ducks. Moondog hits the rope, bounces back in his face, knocking him out. And Son of Irish gets the stack pin on Moondog with his feet on the ropes for the win.
You know, it was a match. It was a match. It really, you were right. It was 99% Moondog just beating the shit out of Son of Irish, and that seemed to be the theme of the night. Is older guys beating on younger talents, unfortunately, as we'll see later in the evening. But this one was the most palatable for me because this one was the most by the rules one. This one involved Dolly, which I've been very much on a Dolly thing right now because I love that valet and manager culture is starting to come back in the indie scene and professional wrestling. It's been showing on AEW specifically and WWE for like a couple years now, but the indies are finally catching up. And Dolly's the perfect one for it. She's got the name. She's got the credibility to it. She's got a great look. We saw a couple looks. We saw her come out in like, I would say like a more rave inspired lime green kind of almost Lita-esque.
Yeah, I was gonna say she flat out told us after the show because me and Mike, or was it Mike or Nathan were talking to her.
I was with Nathan, so it was probably Mike.
It was me and Mike, and we were talking to her, and we were like, "We loved your." I think he said you loved your Lita cosplay, and she's like, "Yep." She's like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
it was definitely a Lita cosplay.
Well, like I don't recall ever seeing Lita wear lime green, but like that's why I said it gave me rave. Well, I also don't like the color, so that could also be a blocked memory. Just if you know, you know. Lime green is a hard one for me. But again, she gave me great vibes. Outfit looked great. And she did her job perfectly in this situation because she led Moondog out, like the music hit and she came out and then Moondog came out. She's doing her job properly because she's not only eye candy, she's functional. As mentioned, she was whipping Son of Irish with that whip. And I mentioned in the show before, her stuff in Calgary with the other manager was phenomenal. So like I liked this match despite it being a little unbalanced for me, obviously, but I'm also biased because I love Son of Irish. I felt that this was actually a very, very well done match. All things considered. And like the sudden win, you know I don't like the rope assisted pins and stuff, but got the job done. Got the job done in a way that made sense. It wasn't sudden. Well, it felt a little sudden, but it was sudden that made sense. It wasn't a sudden that doesn't make sense, which we have seen in the past in this company. So yeah. More Dolly, please. If that means we need Moondog after that, I'm okay. But more Dolly.
Yeah. So we move on to a holiday street fight. It is Steven Styles and Shotgun Sid Greed. Or sorry, the Boogie Steven Styles and Shotgun Sid Greed. They are taking on the Team Barricade, the Barricade, and Steven and Not So Wild. Barricade crushing Sid early on in the ring with big elbows and slams. Styles getting hit in the head with a metal sheet, getting his head busted open and just started bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Sid's getting stapled in the chest with the garland, and I was just like, "Oh!" And he showed me the stapling spots after. I was like, "Oh God, that does not look good." It was look like it didn't look effective, not that bad, but it's just like, God, this does not look enjoyable. Barricade's choking Styles in the corner with a pipe, and just
very dokey jokey of him.
Sid's just getting his ass kicked on the outside. Yeah, a lot of really getting worked over. So Styles gets hit like Wilde hits Styles with probably the weakest, because that's why I call him Not So Wild. It's probably the weakest pipe shot I've ever seen in my life. Then when Not So Wild hit Styles with the pipe on the floor, and some pretty lackluster cookie sheet shots. I'm like, he's already bleeding. Just beat the piss out of him.
Right? Like, that seems to be a problem here. What's the thing with cookie sheets? No one seems to know how to actually move them. They can swing chairs like nobody's fracking business, but when it's a cookie sheet, it's like, ugh. C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. Whack-a-mole with them. Jesus.
Yeah. To a note, Sid came out with this really great gingerbread house during his entrance. I'm really suspicious on where it came from because it said "Not So Wild" on it. I wonder where that came from.
That seems to be your thing, though, isn't it? That's what you always call him.
Yeah, but I never made a gingerbread. I don't know how to make a gingerbread house.
I don't know either. I barely know how to cook.
But, you're a pretty good cook. I bet you're.
I am a pretty good cook.
So a table gets that's a hint. She's a pretty good cook. There's your hint for who brought the goddamn house. The table gets brought into here. Sid and Styles getting their heat back, and then we get these Christmas crackers are brought into the ring and start getting snapped in the ring. There's a little elf right over here that showed up with some presents of Christmas crackers. Filled with tacks and Legos
and bells,
and
allegedly.
But Sid ends up getting slammed on after he opens all his crackers. Barricade slams him onto them, and it's just like painful as hell.
That was my first note. Barricade loses points for slamming Sid on cracker stuff. Yep. You lose points, Barricade. Don't lose any more points.
Barricades ends up on the floor. He gets run into the post. Styles stops the superplex through the table by Steve Wilde to Sid, and Sid shoves the old bastard, Not So Wild, off the top, and he goes through the table. Styles tries to pin him, but Barricade breaks it up. This is where Sid goes to the outside, gets the gingerbread house that he had put over at the concession stand, came back in, and he just rammed that thing through Barricade's face. It exploded everywhere.
Phenomenal.
I do hope Barricade got a little in his mouth, so he got a little treat maybe, because I still got love for Barricade. And Sid pins Barricade for the win. Or Styles pinned him, I think, for the win.
No, it was Sid.
Okay, Sid pins him for the win. Yeah, but I loved it. And Steven Styles cuts a promo after thanking all the fans for everything. And he even thanked me, which was weird. I got called out, but for a good thing.
Yeah, you fucking talk all the shit, and people are nice to you, mean to me.
Yeah, but I talk shit to Styles' face constantly. So,
where am I doing it? Under a fucking rock? No, I am the rock being thrown in your face. Anyway, I don't have much to add to this. This was one of those hardcore matches. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but RCW has a way of doing them right. They're not grotesque. They're fun. They're exciting. They're entertaining. Minus the garland staples to the titties. That started, and I was just like, no, thank you.
No,
No.
I didn't care for that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Especially, like, I get enough of it with Swerve. I've seen enough staples. That doesn't mean try stabbing someone with something else, please. But, like, ugh. I feel like, who's that rapper who's making all the...
I don't know.
Don't do that. Mm.
The only newer
Glorilla?
rapper I know is Sunreal, maybe. It's like the newest rapper I know.
I don't even know who that is. Anyway,
Here
yeah, I
and
had a lot of fun
everywhere
with it.
we go. Yeah, everywhere
Oh,
we go.
yeah. He's not new though. He's been around a hot minute.
I'm saying that's the newest rapper I know.
Oh, okay, fair. But you know, we're gonna no, this is gonna get me off track. Yeah, down with Team Barricade. Yay.
Yeah.
I was happy with this.
So we went to intermission. We all got some snacks, got some fuel in us, and we come back. And we're gonna have to talk about this in stages.
Yeah.
So first music that hits, I love it. It's one of my favorite new songs. Ginha comes out with Dolly in her Lita cosplay along with Moondog Manson.
Was it the Lita costume, or she changed at this point? I thought.
Oh no, she had the Lita costume in the first match, and then she shifts back into
Yeah.
her normal gear for this match. Yeah, sorry, I had it backwards.
Which I appreciate, because if we're seeing you more than once, it's like seeing a concert. You get that at rock concerts all the time. I love it.
So let's talk about the entrance of Teddy Hart first. So Teddy Hart makes his way out. And I noticed we noticed something in his hand. It's got a beer.
Honest question though, how many of those do you think he had before coming out that curtain?
I have no idea.
Based on what we got.
Not enough to truly impair him, because he did be still able to do moonsaults and shit and stuff like that without hurting himself, but or at least a few. Yeah, so Teddy Hart comes to the ring with a beer. Then he gets in the ring. It's normal to get a Teddy Hart pre-match promo. He does this pretty much every show I see him on. And usually he's only doing it for about 3-ish minutes. Usually
5 tops.
Yeah. This thing just would not end. He just kept going and going and going. And all respect to you, man. I know you've done a lot in professional wrestling. I know you've been everywhere, but you don't need to cut a promo before every single match you do. It's the same stuff you were saying at the last show and the show before that. I get it. But I understand. I understand. But my problem with this promo, it was very long, but that's one thing, is we had a couple of people in our crew started chanting, "Please start wrestling," and "We want wrestling." And he kept playing to that, but he kept talking. And then he came out and he started getting in our friends' faces about it. And it just, don't do that.
I mean, for all the infinite experience and wisdom that he apparently had, it didn't prepare him for fans who didn't like him. Apparently, I don't know if this is your first day in the business, but
not everybody
people been
likes
not liking you from day one. You're always going to have people who don't like you. You can either choose to acknowledge them or choose to ignore them. My biggest problem with the promo, again, because I like these little pre-match promos, the problem is they need to make sense with what's happening in the ring. And that was my problem with this promo, is it had absolutely nothing to do with Ginha after he had mentioned him at the very beginning. And where I am very supportive of anybody doing anything that they want, so long as it doesn't physically, emotionally, or mentally abuse anybody purposely. If I want to be recruited for a church, I will go to a church. I don't need to hear the same point about you finding God for 8 minutes. I don't. And like, again, kudos for you if it's helped you. I know it's certain beliefs have helped me. Absolutely. Go on with your bad self. But stop saying the same point 3, 4, 5 times plus in one promo. Make one point of the promo and move on to the next. Stop coming back to it. Because that was my problem with this promo. It wasn't that he cut a promo, because as you mentioned, he cuts a promo every time. And I went to the Calgary show and saw him wrestle Othnius Jones, and he cut a perfectly lengthed promo down there. No repetition, no anything. Like, it went off without a hitch. So what about Edmonton? Did we get this belligerentness? Why and why? Why did we get this belligerentness? And let's talk real quick about the whole time that this promo cringe is happening. This poor motherfucker is standing in the ring just shaking like, what do I do? Just standing there in the corner, moving, like doing what wrestlers do, but it's like, what do you do? And then Moondog standing there. Are you a deer in a headlight, my guy? If this is a problem, fucking solve it. And then Dolly, also standing there. She didn't know what to do, poor girl. What the fuck?
He was taking shots at her too, because it is his cousin. They're cousins. Within the Hart family, they're both related to the Hart family.
Let's talk about the part of the promo where he took shots at Brett.
Yeah.
Like, unnecessary shit that was just fired up and vomiting out of his mouth. And this is where I loop back to the question. How many beer did he have before coming out of that curtain and putting on that garbage? Because then my question becomes, why was he allowed if he is drinking that much? It's a stark difference in having an open cooler, taking a swig of it, doing your thing and coming back to finish that versus coming out with the open product. Because again, based on the promo we got and how repetitive it was, I'm asking this because it felt like the rantings of a drunk. And if Teddy Hart was wrestling Ginha drunk, that's a problem for me. I don't mind watching him wrestle. But like, if he's going to be wrestling impaired, that's a problem. Who let him out there like that? Where are our locker room generals who are saying, you can't do this to our boys? Because I'm sorry, Ginha's like his mid-20s, isn't he? 25, 26?
I'm not sure. I've never seen his face.
Look at his build, though. It's not far off from Son of Irish. He's maybe got a couple more years on him. Son of Irish is 20. So this guy has to be at least 25, 27 at most, I would say. How old is that fucker? He's older than me, and if he isn't, my God. He's got to be in his 40s.
Well, he's been. All I can say is Ginha's been wrestling since 2013.
Okay, but how old is Teddy Hart is the question.
Oh, Teddy.
Because I'm looking at this situation going, if you're supposed to be the shining
44.
example of 44. So you're wrestling a guy nearly half your age who's quite honestly got a lot of places still to go. And like, look how fucked up he got in this match.
Yeah.
This is a problem. I am not happy with this match. And if Teddy wants to keep wrestling here. But try to do it sober next time, please. Because this was an atrocity.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. So we did get into the match. Teddy immediately tosses Ginha out pretty much right away, hits an Asai moonsault to him on the floor. He's suplexing Ginha repeatedly on the floor, suplexes him onto 2 chairs. Ginha does fight back, and he whips Teddy right into where we are in the crowd. Teddy ended up kicking me in the leg when he got whipped into us. He suplexes Teddy on the floor.
That's a man right there, too. Such a man.
Starts snapping his fingers, starts snapping Teddy's fingers and shit. there's a big Rana off the top by Teddy, but Ginha ends up rolling through into a pin. Then he gets a sharpshooter, but Teddy gets to the ropes. He gets his Blue Thunder bomb for 2. Teddy is attacking Ginha in the ropes. He gets him in what looks like the MJF's Heat Seeker. Where you got a guy in the ropes, and you put him between your legs, and he jumps up, and then he comes down into like a pile driver.
Oh, yeah.
It's MJF's Heat Seeker. But he goes up, and then he rotates forward over the ropes with Ginha's legs caught in the other ropes and stretches him over the ropes. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
He essentially put him in like a tarantula, it looked like. And then instead of like actually doing the tarantula, he almost did like a sling blade to the outside and folded the poor guy in half.
Backwards.
The wrong way.
Yeah, it didn't. It looked really rough. Then he came back and got the same position, then hit the Heat Seeker in the ropes. Then he dragged him over the corner. At the end, he dragged him to the corner and hit a top rope moonsault for the win. And it was just like, again, I didn't dislike the match in ring. I thought there was some good stuff in here from Ginha in here. But like, every time Teddy did something, I just was like, he lost me already from the stuff before the match. And just, I don't know. It just, all credit to Ginha for taking the beating he took in here and doing this and just, but goddamn, like,
it felt like a hazing is what it felt like. Like, you want to wrestle, you have to get your shit wrecked by one of our best. If that's one of your best, holy fuck, are we in for trouble?
And then Moondog. I was gonna say post-match, Moondog and Teddy start fighting.
Which should have happened at the beginning.
And Teddy hits an Asai moonsault the Moon on the floor. The Moondog starts choking him with a chain. So Squig comes out attacking Moondog, sends him and runs him off. And Squig says, "How about next month we do a tag match?" And it seems like it's Teddy and Squig versus Ginha and Moondog. If Ginha can make it, he was carried out. Saying almost.
As soon as the pin was done, he curled up into the fetal position in the middle of that ring. That is never a good sign. And he might have been playing it up, but if it is, and fuck, man, kudos to you. Your cell is like Will Ospreay, Kota Ibushi level fucking cell. But like, I was talking to you about this the next day. We know wrestlers. We know them well enough to know that when they say, "I'm fine, it's fine, everything is fine," it's like asking a woman what's wrong and her saying, "Nothing, it's fine." It is not fine. So, like, take that with a grain of salt. You know he's hurting. There's no way he's not hurting. It's a matter of how seriously he is hurting. But, like, the only thing I disagree with you on this is that you said it was a good in-ring thing when you saw Ginha doing stuff. When you saw Ginha doing stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. After that promo, I was like, why the fuck should I even give this man the gratitude, even if it is a disservice to Ginha, who I really, really like? Watching Teddy after that, all I could think about are the people who I know who have been affected by alcohol, and I was not interested. I just had no interest. So, Steven, if this is the case, you're tagging with him next month. Again, could you make sure? Could you try to make sure that he does this sober? Please. Yeah. If that's possible. I feel like this guy is just, if that's going to be how it is going to be perpetually pickled. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about this shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to give props to Ginha for what I saw him do because he worked his ass off in this match.
Yeah.
And I got to give props to Ginha for working his ass off and getting his ass kicked in here because
absolutely.
One of my favorite.
It was just not enjoyable to watch for me. Just because there was everything that he did, it felt desperate. Like he was trying his best to actually just get something in because he wasn't being allowed to. And we have seen that with some of these younger guys trying to get into the ring with these older guys, and they won't let them do shit. Now look at some of the matches that we've seen with Son of Irish. There's a lot of people who won't give him the privilege of doing his frickin' moves on them. It's frustrating as a fan.
Yeah. So we move on. Main event of the evening for the RCW International Tag Team Championships.
I was gonna say, change the picture so I can smile again.
It is the Radz, T.Y. Jackson, and Rich King defending against the Fisting Kitties, Dean Richtor and Kato.
That was not the name that I had heard at the show. That's brilliant.
That's what literally me, Nathan, and Mike were talking about it. Fisting Kitties.
I was hearing Fisting Tigers. I didn't hear Fisting Kitties. I heard Fisting Tigers.
No, because I changed it. Because I had Fist Meow before, but then I changed it to Fisting Kitties.
Oh, this is brilliant. I look forward to hear all the fisting moves.
Oh yeah. Early on though, Schoolboy roll through into a suplex by Rich King to Kato for 2. I love that move. Schoolboy roll through into the suplex. I love it so much. A beautiful springboard Rana by TY to Dean at one point. They get that inverted atomic drop into the Bulldog combo by the Radz to Dean for 2. Beautiful corner insecurity by TY into the Rich King by TY to Dean. Into the Rich King Tornado DDT, into the TY moonsault off the top to Dean's fistballs.
Fistballs.
Yeah,
love it.
Landed right on his lower midsection area. Ooh.
Fistballs.
Dean does fight back. Hits a rolling chaos fisting to TY, or the rolling chaos theory for y'all that don't know our joke here.
Rolling chaos fisting.
Then we get a double pop-up knee fist by Dean and Kato to TY. Pop-up knee into the face, but it's a pop-up knee fist.
Yeah, I'm following.
Dean ends up fisting Rich off the apron to stop a tag. Kato, it's a beautiful O face off the top to TY for 2. I love this match. TY hits a beautiful tope suicida to the Fisting Kitties on the floor at one point. TY hitting big kicks to Dean and Kato. He's caught into the choke fist buster, meow stabber combo, which is the choke buster backstabber combo.
Love it.
Choke fist buster.
Right? Like you're just writing this shit. It's amazing.
And then the meow stabber, which is his backstab, which is Kato's backstabber.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Dean, there's a great spot. Rich was taken outside and thrown out into the hallway, and they closed the doors. And then Dean's in the ring with TY, and he has his arm, and he's like swinging it around, and he's just like, he says, "Nobody's here for you," and it's the greatest thing in the world. He just ragdolled. There's nobody in the corner. It's so good, so good. It's a nice sidewalk
mean to do to your kid, Dean.
It's a nice sidewalk fist sidewalk fist slam splash combo by the Fisting Kitties for 2 on TY. Lots of double team moves. Kato ends up getting run into Dean when he's up top. And he crotches Dean up top. TY super kicks Kato. And Rich returns, taking out Kato, but Kato sends him to the apron. Rich comes back in with his final beat DDT and hits a cradle shock to Kato. Rich does the hop up, goes for the running, hops up to grab Dean on top, but he does slip, and everybody's like, oh, but he's just like, and he just jumps right back up. Man, the vertical leap on Rich King is amazing, and I've seen him do it in training when he was teaching me to just do step ups. So you can show, and he jumps up and hits a Rana to Dean off of the top for 2. He goes for the 867 driver, but Dean gets out, hits the spinning elbow fist, and he hits the dragon fist suplex. And then Dean ends up slamming Rich and Kato. He slams Rich. Kato comes off the top with a splash for 2. This is where JJ shows up distract Dean while he's up top. Rich ends up sending Kato into the ropes, and Dean falls, hits the ropes and falls to the outside. Rich then fights with Kato, and he does that where it goes up and like Ron, it comes all the way around, like kind of goes up into a head scissors and comes down the other side, picks him up into the Olympic Slam, and and tags in TY for the Swanton Bomb off the top for the win in an absolutely incredible main event of this show.
This was a great way to follow up the monstrosity that was before it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I said that should have been shorter was the match before. And the match with Kato and JJ should have been longer because we didn't need that shit. No one needed that shit. Anyway, again, I love the story that they were telling with the animosity with Dean and JJ. And I love the character development that we have seen out of Dean Richtor this year. Oh my God. How much improvement has this guy made? He went from being an incredible in-ring competitor with very Sonata-esque personality, very dry, very salt-free soda cracker. Now look at him. We've got this whole lingo with him where it's time to fist. He's being included in a lot more things. We've seen him in the Tales from the Undercard with the Radz, which if you haven't seen the most recent episode, you better. It's found out. It is revealed if Dean is daddy. So go see. You have to see. Dean is daddy here, though. Holy shit. He rocked the socks off of everyone in this match. Shit. Him and Kato work surprisingly well together. I don't know if I've seen them tag before. I'm not willing to try to rattle the magic 8-ball that is my brain right now to try to remember that. But they work very, very well together. I'm very curious. I wouldn't mind seeing them tag again. I wonder if this means that Kato is going to continue to back Dean going forward with the feud with JJ. If maybe Kato's going to take issue with JJ as well. If maybe JJ will find himself a friend, not Steven Styles, and take on these two. I'm curious. But in the meantime, we celebrate a Radz win. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Give me your fucking tip. Touch my tip, motherfucker. This was a great way to cap off the show. It just, the second last match, the semi-main left a weird taste in my mouth about the show overall, though. Because it really does take just one thing to really fuck it all up for everybody else. And it's like, it's unfortunate to know that the regular people on this show, minus the ones that were not on this show because of other commitments, held down the fort and put on a fucking incredible show. And the part-timer, the guest in the locker room, was the one person who made it shit. It's unfortunate. That being said, thank you to the regular degulars, the Dean Richtors, the Radz, the Mitch Clarke, the new guy, Wes Barker, even though you're a dick for yelling at me. Thank you for being the son of Irish. JJ, thank you for being so fucking good at your fucking jobs here. Don't let other people tell you that you're not doing good. Because you're what bring a lot of people in.
That's our job, to tell you you're not doing good.
Yeah, it's our jobs to tell you you're shit. Actually, that's Andre's job. Then your job is to give me shit about that.
Mainly Mel. But everybody give Mel shit for whatever I say, you know?
Yeah, why? Mind your business. Melball's going to start throwing hands.
I've never talked shit about Wes, so him taking shots at you is not my fault. I've praised him every time we talked about it. You can't blame me for Wes. You can blame me for others. You can't blame me for Wes.
I can blame you for Wes. I'm good at anyway. It's fun. It's fun to watch you squirt.
Wes screwed Wes. There you go.
Oh, I'm fighting words.
Hey, he did it to himself. He screwed himself with you, not me. It's not my fault.
Yeah, take that, sir. Anyway,
We've come to the end of another episode. You can find me on the X and Blue Sky at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk and our YouTube page, youtube.com at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also find all of our Japanese wrestling content over at A Plus Productions on Facebook and aplusproductions.com if you want to get the RSS feeds for all their incredible shows over there. Then you can also find us, find me over on our local establishment, whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube. Check us out, our local establishment over there on both those channels. I just did the trivia show where I narrowly lost out to the wonderful Lauren Goodnight. This Saturday, we got Japanese Wrestling Update, special time of 4 p.m. Eastern. Let's come check it out. I'll be back Sunday with the boys on Point of View as we chit chat all the professional wrestling, or all the sports in the world, not professional wrestling, the sports in the world that we like to talk about. And starting on Sunday, for 8 straight days, you're going to see me in some form or fashion on that channel, whether it's me, whether it's Ed. Marvel Talk will be here. Will be a daily show reviewing all the episodes of What If, and then a special edition of the MCU Rebound will appear on Christmas Day, probably around noon Eastern. It'll be myself and Ed as we review Once Upon a Deadpool, the PG-13 retelling of Deadpool 2, with Fred Savage in his role, reprising his role from The Princess Bride.
which isn't awkward at all.
It's not at all. It's not awkward that he's taped, that he's all taped and duct tape, and it's not awkward at all. It's not awkward
No,
when he
it's
makes
not
fun of
awkward
Nickelback.
that he's got a grown-ass man taped in a bed. Yeah, no, that's totally normal in America.
So check that out. All that stuff coming out next week. And then we will be back for one more edition of the Japanese Wrestling Update on the 27th of December, as that will be it's going to be a preview show. We're going to run down the cards for Dream Queendom. We're going to run down the card for Noah New Year. We're going to run down the card for Marigold's First Dream. We're going to run down the card for Wrestle Kingdom, and we're going to run down the card for Wrestle Dynasty. And I guess we can't really run down a card for New Year's Dash because that won't be announced till day of. So, yeah.
I was going to say, so many decisions for Wrestle.
And we'll be talking about the matches coming on the 11th of January for Battle in the Valley that have been announced. We have news to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent you a couple of those. Hot dang.
Well, you sent it to me, and I had just sent it to you. You sent it to me on Insta just after I sent it to you on
application. Because that's how we roll here at Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. It's glorious, glorious chaos, not just for you, but for us as well.
And one more shout out to our boy Mike the Rev, youtube.com/@Backbreaker video, where he simulcasts all of our stuff. You can find his live content at twitch.tv/Mike the Rev, and replays of all his gaming content at youtube.com/@Backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me, as Andre mentioned, on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update Saturday, this Saturday at 4 Eastern, you said? That's 2 Mountain Time? Yeah, okay. Melball's not so great at math. We need assistance on that one. We usually do run on Fridays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, but glorious, glorious chaos, Melball overbooked herself. She's doing the post show with Auntie Collins on the Ring of Honor show. I can't remember what it's called.
Final Battle.
Final Battle. I was going to say countdown and start singing. I was excited.
Featuring Hanako.
That's going to be freaking sweet. Any hoozles. You can catch me on that on our local establishment on Friday instead. You can also catch me on Mondays with Auntie Collins and Astrid Pizarro, where we do our show, Women's Classic Wrestling. We are in the middle of watching the Mae Young Classic from 2017, the first one, which I have personally never seen, so we are going on a journey. And we are now entering the second episode that involves round 2 people. I believe that is round 6 or episode 6. It's either 6 or 7. Is it 6? Andre's noting it's 6. It is 6. So come check out when we are doing that bad boy. And you can also catch me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Hopefully we have a show coming out soon with the holidays coming up. Astrid is busy. I am busy. It is glorious, glorious chaos here. Everyone's busy. It is what it is, but we will get you an episode ASAP. Stay tuned to our socials. What else, Andre? If you're wanting to watch some RCW wrestling, you can go to their Facebook page. Are you going to give me the ticker?
Oh, no.
You can go to their Facebook page, Real Canadian Wrestling, where you can get a link to their Eventbrite, or you can get in the know with some of your favorite professional wrestlers, get tickets through them. Mitch Clarke, that was a weird reaction. It was a really weird reaction. There was no filter on that one. Get in the know with some of your favorite professional wrestlers, and you can get tickets in advance. Helps the wrestlers, helps the company, helps everyone. We are the Horde. Come join the Horde. Come sit with us. Well, come sit with Andre. Maybe I'll eventually talk to you. I'm not a people person.
It's usually how it works. I attract these people in with my weird and odd charisma by just randomly talking to everybody, and then you just go, I like you, I'll start talking to you, or going, I don't like you, and you don't talk to them.
Yeah, I don't like you, get the fuck away from me. Yeah.
That has happened. That has happened.
Yeah.
Just because I bring you to the Horde doesn't mean Mel will allow you to stay in the Horde.
There is an approval process that we need to go through. Most people get in, but there has been a time where I was just like, nope. Yeah, go away. Kindly Fizzidiuck your piss hole with a cactus. Any Hoozles, Andre, my trusted friend and colleague. How did you feel about this show, the last show of the year, real quick? Last show of the year we get to see before going out. Are you happy with it? Outside
of the thing we saw in the semi-main event, and no fault to Ginha, I enjoyed it. I had a great time. Final show of the year. Love getting out to see professional wrestling. I cannot wait for more professional wrestling in the new year. Come back with the first Chop Talk will be for RCW on from Saturday the 11th.
January 11th.
Yeah, Saturday the 11th. I'll be there for sure. Mel might be there. We don't know.
I'm going to be at the 11th show. It's the 25th show. That's questionable.
Oh, okay. That's the questionable show. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be hitting up stuff. So check that out. We have all the content coming out. We have our Japanese wrestling week and a half that's going to take us forever. We'll be starting all on Starter Review with Dream Queendom after the show on the 29th. And then and then also we're doing the A Plus Wrestling's Best and Worst show. We're going to be recording that very soon. So lots and we have our own. We have our own best of 2024 Chop Talk coming out.
I'm doing Eds for OLE.
So yeah, and you're doing that on December 30th, I think
so.
And then so much more coming. So much more coming.
So we have so many shows at New Year's to do.
Yep.
So many.
But thank y'all for joining us here. Please, thank you so much. Whether you're on Backbreaker Video, Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, thank you so much for joining us here all this year. Please check us out. We pretty much the next thing that will come up for you. We'll have one more show this year for Start and Review. That'll be it. So please thank you so much for joining us here this year. We're growing. We're now over 200 subscribers. Thank you so very, very much. We really, really appreciate all the support you've given us this year, and we hope to keep growing and keep doing what we're doing as we fall into the right positions and not killing ourselves doing what we're doing anymore. Thank you so very much. Please, if you're on, whether you're on your channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. So we love talking to you about professional wrestling. I'm sorry I haven't been in the comments lately, but I am going to start getting back to talking to you guys. I've just been crazy lately. Also, do not forget to share us out to your friends, family, and crazy people that you want to join the Horde. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Horde.
We are the Horde. That being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Trey. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, everything, and we will see you next time. Mwah.